The stock market surging to record highs in the final days of 2019. Not the case this morning, the second to last trading day of the year. The Dow is off about 120 points. But will the recent stock market rally hold up in the new year? And how will President Trump's economic policies impact the upcoming presidential election? There he is, our headliner this morning, White House trade advisor Peter Navarro, joining us at work this morning, Peter. And so are the markets.
Howdy from the swamp.
Good morning to you. Markets down today, stock market down a little bit today at least, but it has been a record-breaking year for the U.S. stock market. Does it continue in 2020?
It's the roaring 2020s, Sandra. I'm predicting closer to 3% real GDP growth and 2%. That's very, very robust. I'm looking at 32,000 on the Dow by year's end. And back in July, I predicted 30,000 on the Dow if the USMCA got passed and the Fed lowered interest rates, and we're closing in on that. What driving this economy, if you look at how economies grow, it's basically four things: consumption, investment, government spending, and exports. And we're hitting on all cylinders because of President Donald J. Trump. The consumer, very confident, employed, rising wages. That's going to go in 2020. We've got exports now. We got 5 trade deals this president has negotiated that are going to come in full force in 2020 with Japan, South Korea, Canada, Mexico, and China. Check that box. The sleeper here.
Check what box? I mean, we're told phase one China trade deal is done.
Strong exports. Yeah, we'll probably have a signing on that within the next week or so. We're just waiting for the translation. So those two drivers, consumption and exports, are going to be great. The sleeper in terms of growth is this NDAA and authorizations bill that the Congress passed 2 weeks ago. It's huge because what it does is it puts a floor in for a really strong fiscal stimulus that will also strengthen our defense industrial base. So that's all good. And then with our tariff policies, and because this is the strongest economy in the world, we're going to be attracting a lot of investment here, building things like auto plants and steel plants. 2020, it's going to be great. It's basically low unemployment, rising wages. Happy New Year.
But do you think that message is getting out when you have the attacks from the Democratic candidates out on the campaign trail, that Americans feel it?
So there was a great article in yesterday's Washington Post on the front page about the rise of American populism under Donald J. Trump, and how the Republican Party under President Trump has become the party of America's working class. And the problem I'm seeing the Democrats have, they got no answer for that. Their version of populism is basically, rob from the middle class and give health care to illegal immigrants. And on the economy, you listen to them, and they got nothing. So we got everything.
But I'll tell you what they're referencing, and it does show up in polling, in our own Fox News polling. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Those that answered better, 34%, worse, 23%. They feel the same, 41%, Peter. So they're referencing, and they make the point, countering Republicans, that this is the best economy ever for Americans, that some just aren't feeling the benefits of this robust economy. To that, you say what?
Well, first of all, Wall Street Journal front page article, it was hard for them to print it. Workers' wages rising a lot faster than managers' wages. It should be the Main Street Journal talking there. I think it's better to look, rather than these polls, which are small sample, look at the general gauges of optimism. Small business optimism at record levels. Consumer confidence is really high. People are feeling really good, and I'm so pleased as the Director of Office of Manufacturing and Trade Policy that the people who are benefiting most from the Trump economy are the real nobility of this country, the people who work with their hands, the blue-collar workers in the lower end of our income distribution. It's great. Over 500,000 manufacturing jobs created by the president.
Well,
median household income record high at $63,000. It was flat. Flatlined from Bush to Obama.
There's no doubt there are some solid economic indicators out there, and one of them is the stock market, and the president does reference that a lot. Here's the performance since the president was inaugurated. The Dow has gone up 33%, the S&P 500, the broader gauge of the U.S. stock market, up 29%, and NASDAQ, which is technology heavy, it's up 41%. Here's the point that the Washington Post is making, Peter, and we'll get your reaction to that. Trump's quest to shatter GOP economics reached its culmination in 2019. In it, it writes, from trade to spending, from the Federal Reserve to paid parental leave, Trump has embraced policy changes that historically are more in line with the approach of Democrats, establishing a forceful role for government in setting the terms of the economy than of Republicans. What was your response to that?
Donald J. Trump has led the Republican Party to become the party of the working class, and it's a beautiful thing. This president represents Main Street, and he's doing it beautifully, and there's no culmination in 2019. There's a continuation in 2020 of his policies. I think the history books will show he's the best president on the economy in modern history, and he's still got a year to go in his first term.
Wow. It's going to be a big question, that's for sure, whether or not it can last. You know, there's a lot of Wall Street analysts out there right now who are saying that this can. But then let's ask about the trade deal, because the trade deal has been the big uncertainty of 2019. You just said that you're waiting on the translation for phase one so that the Chinese delegation can come over and sign that. What can you tell us this morning exactly is happening this week, and what will happen? What are we watching for?
Sure. First of all, when you say the trade deal, to me, that's USMCA, because it's actually twice the volume of trade and 5 times the exports. That one is waiting now for the Senate to sign and get moving, so that's going to be a beautiful thing. All we've been waiting for on the China deal is to translate the English version of the 86-page deal into the Chinese version. As soon as that's done, there's reports that maybe Liu He, the Chinese negotiator, will come over and sign. But that's good. That's a done deal. Put that one in the bank. I think what's important here is to see the Trump trade policy broadly construed as Japan, South Korea, Canada, Mexico, China banked. And in 2020, we're looking at Great Britain, Vietnam, Europe, other countries that we're going to engage in a way that's going to defend American workers, not treat America like a piggy bank.
But, Peter, do you think that the Chinese will pull a fast one, like they were accused of doing last time with that translation? You know, don't sign on the dotted line until you read the fine print.
No, this one's banked.
Okay.
When will we see the actual details of that?
As quickly as possible. If I had had my way, it would have been right away. But basically, you need to get it translated into the Chinese and double checked so both versions match. It's a deal. If you want to know what it is, just so you know what it is, you've got intellectual property theft in detail from the May agreement. You've got a good start on forced technology transfer. There's some good language on currency manipulation, which is a big deal. You've got access, financial market access in China for our banks and insurance companies. That's a good. That's a pretty good phase.
But do we
one
know?
start.
Before we go on to tariffs, last question on that: China is coming. Is the delegation coming to the White House this week to sign that?
I'm going to defer to Ambassador Lighthizer on that and President Trump, because they are, after all, the architects of this phase one deal.
Okay, so we don't know. There are reports that is happening. Wanted to ask you.
There are reports, but never believe reports on anonymous sources. Get it from President Trump or Bob Lighthizer, and you'll be right.
Got it. That was the Morning Post, the South China Morning Post that reported that.
What could go wrong there?
Okay. Final question on tariffs. Is this a concern for the economy, for the stock market going forward? The Federal Reserve writes this, quote, results indicate that tariffs have been a drag on employment and have failed to increase output. Do you share in those concerns in the new year?
Not at all. The Trump tariffs are working beautifully to defend American workers and create American prosperity. I don't usually say this on the air, but I do have a PhD in economics from Harvard. I did read that study, and it's based on an econometric analysis using what's called dummy variables. Dummy variables. There's a beautiful double entendre there when you look at that study. I'm waiting for the Fed study to show that Fed Chairman Jay Powell raising rates too far too fast cost us a point of growth in 2019. That's a study I'd like to read.
All right. PhD tutorial from Harvard here live on the air of the Fox News Channel.
Dummy variable.
But just to finish, you said the stock market rally's not over. Prediction for 2020. Dow's at 28.5 right now.
Sure.
What are you?
Well, my track record's good here. The day after the election, I said Dow 25,000 in the first term, got there. I said in July, Dow 30,000 if we got USMCA and an interest rate cut. I think we're going to get there in the early part of the year, and I'm thinking 32,000 by the end of the year. And with the NASDAQ outperforming the Dow as well as the Dow's doing, tech's on fire.
All right, 32,000. We'll check back with you at the end of the year.
Peter Navarro, thank you.
Happy New Year.